truth-seeking self in the howl of the wolf, Tala's wheel of destiny begins to turn. Beneath the moonlight lies the hidden power and secrets of Tala. Every choice is a new path, and Tala's adventure awaits. Hey, I'm Tala, and before I let you intrude on my life, I think I should tell you about myself. I'm 5'1.5", which is freakishly huge for a chick. I'm slender and barely have any boobs at all. You could call me willowy. My hair is short, bleach blonde, and I usually wear it spiked. I don't consider myself pretty or ugly, just average, I guess. I love music, Pop-Tarts, brightly colored monsters, books, rainbow band-aids, drawing and nature and shiny things. I know I like some odd things, right? Now hates fakes, liars, being left out of a secret, creepy cats, being homeschooled, washing dishes, being sick, reality shows, Disney Channel, when people take stuff without asking, when people mess with my brother and pet names except from Alec. Now, my parents died when I was 5 and my brother Alec was 7. Besides my puppy Chaman, Alec is my only family. Alec is my protector and savior. He pretty much raised me, even though he is only 2 years older than me. I find the fact that he is my protector, considering his name means protector, and boy does he live up to it. Alec is so protective that I am homeschooled. Yeah, that's right, no public school, no friends, and no boyfriends. Yeah, I go out into town occasionally and I have met some of Alec's friends, but I have no real girl influence. So yeah, basically homeschool sucks ass. Don't get me wrong, I probably look like a girl you don't want to mess with, but I'm so grateful to my brother for raising me that I don't disobey him. Much. On top of that, we live in the middle of flipping nowhere. In a huge log house, on top of a hill, in the middle of the woods. Like I said, middle of fucking nowhere. But anyways, that all changes today. Today is my last day of homeschool, so I officially graduate, and on top of that, tomorrow is my 18th birthday. Though honestly, I don't feel peppy. I actually felt like shit. Great sickness. I walked downstairs after getting ready. I saw Alex smiling at me as I looked at him. Gee, ever since his birthday last year, he has looked totally different. He used to be blonde. He told me he needed a change, but I swear his cheekbones are higher now and his eye shape changed. But oh well, what I know, maybe it's just the hair dye. I smiled back at my adoring brother. Congrats, grad, he said, cheerfully hugging me. I laughed. Thanks, bro, I said as he pushed me lightly toward the kitchen. I saw a box wrapped in neon-colored paper and a cupcake with a candle in it. Go ahead, open the gift, Alex said. I giggled. Alec, you shouldn't have, I said while carefully ripping the paper off the gift. I gasped as I saw what looked to be neon-colored animal tooth necklace. It was gorgeous. It's a wolf tooth. It said that it was a powerful wolf's tooth, one that could change into a human. The original werewolf, he said softly. He knew I loved it. Stuff like that always interested me. I love mythical creatures. I gasped, really. Oh, Alec, I love it, I said, hugging him as he laughed. Happy graduation/birthday, Tala bug, he said as we separated. I blew out the candle on my cupcake and ate half, but I got full really quick and gave the other half to Alec. He looked at me concerned. Are you okay, Tala? He asked. I tried to hide my wooziness. It's all good, I said, looking intently at the necklace he gave me. All of a sudden I heard Chaman barking, then heard a bunch of guys sounding like a frat party. Right before I could see them, everything went black. Really? Werewolves don't exist. Ch.2. Tala's POV. Dream. I was standing in the middle of the woods. I tried to talk, but nothing came out. I saw a huge wolf with midnight black fur touched with some dark blue just run and stop right there, like it never saw me. You have to understand, when I said huge, I mean huge. I bet it was bigger than a horse. Then, the next thing I knew, another wolf, this one with chocolate brown fur, appeared. He was quickly followed by 3 more. One was bleached blonde, odd, right? One was pure black, and the last one was a caramel color. I just stared in amazement. This can't be. Nah, but it's a wicked cool dream, though. Suddenly, the black one looked my way and I froze. Then they all lunged my way and... Guys, I think she's gonna change. I don't know what to do, I heard the worried voice of my brother say. I was about to ask him what the hell he was talking about, but I decided to stay quiet and listen some more. I could handle it, but we all know it's painful, but this is my little sister. Guys, I can't stand to watch her go through that shit, Alex said urgently. Dude, cool it. We can take it as it comes, a mysterious voice said. Yeah, she'll be okay. I'll help watch her, another voice said, happily. Dude, I wouldn't leave anyone in your care if you were the last person on Earth, said a third voice. Dude, that made absolutely no sense, I heard Alex say. I decided it was time to wake up, even though I would love to go to sleep, considering I felt like shit. I moved my head a bit and opened my eyes slowly, just to see Alec and 3 other guys I didn't know. Hey Tala bug, how you feeling? Alex said. Like shit, I said, almost coughing up a lung. A bleach blonde-haired boy gave me some water. Thanks, I said in between coughs. No problem, he replied happily, which made me smile. After my coughing fit was done, I decided to sit up. Great, sick on graduation and will be on my birthday too, I said, crossing my arms and pouting. I heard the guy with black hair stifle a laugh. I looked at him like he had 14 tongues, which would be awesome, by the way. You think this is funny, I said, going into another coughing fit. He shook his head, yes. After the coughing, I growled like a dog at him. Yeah, I know that's weird, but it's just something I have always done when I get mad. Alec, as much as I love strangers and taking candy from them, do you suppose that you could introduce them to me, considering that they are standing around me while I'm asleep? I asked, looking at a worried Alec. Don't worry so much, Alec. I'll be fine. Jez, overprotective much, I said, rolling my eyes and taking a drink of my water. I saw a smile from him. Okay, the jock-looking one over there is Ryan, Alex said, and I saw Ryan stand and bow like a prince or something. I giggled as he smiled and sat back down. The black-haired Amazon is Yuma. His name is a little weird, but that's because he's Native American. I saw Yuma smirk, and I just looked at him quizzically. Last but not least is Bo, the bleach blonde on, smiling like a creeper. Though that could just be because he is French, I laughed at that. Hey, don't make fun of my heritage. It's not like I'm from France. My parents are. I didn't have a choice in the matter, Bo retorted, looking at me as that creepy grin crossed his face. Before I knew it, I was tackled into a hug. He was burning hot, just like Alec had gotten after his 18th birthday, and still is. I wonder if the others are that hot, but right now I didn't really care, because it felt good and God knew I was freezing. When Bo decided to let go, I grabbed his arm and pulled him down beside me and cuddled up to his side. I quickly noticed everyone was looking at me weirdly. What? Remember, I'm sick. I'm freezing over her and he's like 500 degrees, I said, sticking my tongue out at them all. Then I saw Shaman come over and jump on the couch. I immediately let go of Bo and grabbed Shaman. Bo looked at Alec like WTF? She's really attached to that dog, Alec said, shrugging his arms and chuckling. I was petting Shaman. So guys, how come I haven't seen you before? I asked. Not sure really, but we have only been here twice before, but it was late at night, so you were probably in bed. We usually meet your brother in town, Ryan said. I nodded, even though I knew there was something going on. Well guys, it's been a pleasure meeting random people and passing out in front of them, but I think I might go take a nap, I said as I attempted to get up, but before I could leave I heard Alec. No, you're not. You need to stay down here so I can keep an eye on you, he said. I sighed, sick of the protective older brother routine. Alec, why do you do this every time I'm sick? I'm not going to die in my sleep. Alec just gave me a stern look, and I sighed again and sat back down on the couch. I heard Yuma laugh. All right, Yaka, Yama, Yuma, or whatever the fuck your name is. It's really not nice to laugh at people, especially if you've never even talked to them before, I said in exasperation. Oh hey, burned, Bo said as Ryan and Alec laughed. Looks like you finally have competition, Yuma, Ryan said. Looks like I do, Yuma said. He finally talks, I said, jumping up and pointing to him, just to end up having another coughing fit. They all ended up laughing at me. I finally calmed down, and with Shaman in one arm and snuggling up next to Bo, I slowly fell into a sick-induced sleep while the guys talked about boring crap. Alec's POV. Tala practically passed out on Bo. I smiled at my little sister's face while she slept against Bo. She looked just like she did when she was 5. She scared the crap out of me passing out like that earlier. Finally, she's asleep, Yuma said, sighing. I growled a bit at his tone. So what do you think she's going to look like when she changes? She's so pretty right now, I don't see how she can get much prettier, Bo said. I didn't take this perversely because Bo was like a little kid, always attaching himself to random people. Hey, ma'am? I'm not sure, Bo, Ryan said, looking like he was thinking. What if she's the one for one of us, Yuma said out of the blue. I growled. No one is touching Tala, unless I say the can, giving each of the guys a warning glance while saying this. All we can do is wait until tomorrow, Ryan said, causing me to sigh. You guys just stay here tonight? I'm gonna need help to get through it tomorrow, I said, sighing and holding my head, bracing for the screams of pain to come. What if one of us imprints on her, Bo said suddenly. Yo, dumb fuck. What do you think I meant by what if she's the one for one of us, Yuma said. He certainly has a way with words, doesn't he? Imprinting isn't like those stupid Twilight books say it is. God, I hate those books. Imprinting is something that happens, strictly between two werewolves, male and female. They don't instantly fall in love, well, at least the girl doesn't. The girl has to learn to love the male that imprints on her. The male is the one that falls in love at first sight, which means when Tala turns, she's open to imprints. Oh, I never came out and said we were werewolves, did I? Well, we are, but you really don't turn till your 18th birthday. When you go through the change, everything changes. Your looks completely change. It's like having plastic surgery without the doctor or the surgery. Though at least that would be easier and less painful. I sighed. If one of you guys imprint on my sister, then you better not tell me. I might rip you limb from limb. Good night, guys. I'm going to bed. Sleep wherever you want. You know where the extra rooms are. I'm gonna take Tala up, too, I said, gently lifting Tala, only to have Chaman follow me upstairs and jump right into bed with Tala. I gave her a kiss on the head. Good night, Tala Bug, I said as I saw her smile in her sleep. I smiled and went into my own room the next door over. I hope it isn't as painful for her as it was for me. God, please watch over her through this. P-shash. Werewolves don't exist. Tala's POV. Okay, who the hell decided to make our house an oven? It is like hell in here. I opened my eyes from my slumber to feel sweat all over me. Ugh, nasty, I thought to myself. I tried to get up, but when I did, I fell to the floor. My legs had given out on me. Then I remembered yesterday, the blackout, the sickness, and the guys. Great. Now my sickness had escalated to my legs turning to jello. While I was contemplating trying to get up again, I started to feel my joints ache. Aish? That is odd. I thought I already went through puberty. I tried to get up again, and this time it worked. My legs still felt like jello, but I could walk now. I decided to dress coolly, even though it was a bit slutty. It's not like I'm going to see anyone but Alec. I grabbed a white shirt that cut off right in between my breast and went down to my navel, except right at my breast there was a strip of cloth that attached it together. I also grabbed a pair of dark washed skinny jeans and then jumped in the shower even though I was burning up. I turned the water on as cold as I could stand and just stood there under the spray. The aching in my joints was now consuming my body. Even my face was aching. It was not extremely painful, so there was no real reason to complain. It has to be from the fever. Pushing the pain to the back of my mind, I washed my hair and got out. After drying off and putting my clothes on, I did my hair and makeup. Right when I walked out of my bathroom, there was a knock on my bedroom door. Tala, are you okay? I heard Alec ask through the door. Yeah, come on in, if you want, I said, but my voice came out raspy. Not like my voice at all. Alec walked in. How are you feeling? He asked, concern coloring his voice. Well, it feels like I'm in an oven and I'm aching all over. But if that's good, then yeah, I'm fine, I said sarcastically. Alec smiled a sympathetic smile. Happy birthday, by the way, he said. Oh yeah, my birthday, I had almost forgotten about it. Oh, I can go buy cigarettes. He raised an eyebrow at that statement. You don't smoke, he said. I know, I just wanted to get them because I'm 18 now and they can't stop me from buying them, I said, shrugging my shoulders and walking out, hearing Alec laugh behind me. I got downstairs and walked straight into the kitchen without looking in the living room. I grabbed a Pop-Tart and a bottle of water. I walked back into the living room and saw Ryan, Yuma, Bo, and Alec. I wouldn't have dressed like this if I knew that they were here. Alec just sat there. He was used to me wearing stuff like this when I'm burning up or something. Ryan's eyes were wide, Yuma was smirking, and Bo's mouth was wide open. Then it seemed to register with Alec. He growled, and the guys snapped their attention to something else. I smiled and shook my head. Then all of a sudden, the aches got a bit worse. Alec, could you get me some ibuprofen? I'm aching all over for some reason, I said, sitting down next to Ryan on the couch. Alec went into the kitchen to get the medicine. Ryan reached his hand over to my forehead, and then he frowned. Aren't you burning up? He asked. I rolled my eyes. Why do you think I'm dressed like a slut? I asked. Attitude much, I heard Yuma say. You know I already don't like you, so shut up before I jump you and rip your ass limb from limb, I said. I heard Bo and Ryan laugh. What? I asked, confused. You really are Alec's sister, Ryan said. I felt a hand messing up my hair. Damn right she is, Alec said, as I growled at him. He laughed and gave me the ibuprofen. I quickly opened my water and swallowed them down. Oh, Tala, happy birthday, Bo said, tackling me into a hug for the second time. I laughed, thanks, Bo. Want one of my Pop-Tarts? His face lit up. He's so cute, like a little kid, it's easy to get attached to him. Yeah, he said as I gave him one of my Pop-Tarts. Wow, Bo, she must really like you to share her Pop-Tart with you, Alec said. Aw, thank you, Tala, Bo said, tackling me into another hug. Only this time I couldn't breathe. I love you and llbutcan breath, I said, gasping for air. Whoops, sorry, Bo said, letting go of me. No problem, I said, gaining my breath back. Ryan, Yuma, and Alec were laughing. I pouted. Not funniest swipes, I said as Chaman got on the couch and I petted him. Chaman barked while looking at me. Then all of a sudden, the aching turned into pure pain in my stomach. I curled up in a ball. Tala, are you okay? I heard Alec ask. I quickly shook my head no. He ran over to me. Where does it hurt? He said. Stomach was all I could manage. Guys, it's starting, Alec said in a panic. I wanted to ask him what he was talking about and what the hell was going on, but I couldn't even talk. The pain was so bad. They were hiding something from me. Whenever I can stand, I'll beat the shit out of them and make them tell me. I felt someone lift me up bridal style, and a minute later I was lying on my bed. I curled up again. The pain was excruciating. I wanted to scream, but refused to let them see my weakness. I glanced up to see Bo sitting on the bed with me. Worried, Yuma was leaning against my door, Ryan coming in with a towel, and Alec pacing back and forth. I wanted to tell them I would be okay. I wanted to tell Bo not to look so worried, that it would cause wrinkles. Then, all of a sudden, I heard a sickening crack. I saw the guys flinch and felt the pain in my legs. It felt almost as if they were stretching. What the fuck is going on? I screamed and automatically sat up and held onto my legs for dear life. The calmest one seemed to be Ryan. He slowly came over to me. Shh. It's okay, we'll explain when it's all over. He held me against his chest, so tight I couldn't get out if I wanted to. I got another glance of Alec. He looked like he was going to cry. First legs, then arms, then face, then final transfer, he kept mumbling to himself. Now listen, next will be your arms. It's gonna hurt as bad as your legs. I want you to stay calm though, okay? I let out a little whimper and shook my head, yes. Right after he said that, I heard another horrid crack, this time from my arms. If you think this isn't back, think of someone breaking the bones in your arms and legs and then stretching and twisting them for the pure fun of it. Now, tell me that doesn't sound that bad. I let out another whimper as the pain hit me like a tidal wave. Ryan was still holding me and trying to massage my arms to help. Okay, sweetie, almost done. The next part is the most painful, okay? Your whole face is going to feel like someone beat it with a baseball bat, and then it's going to feel like it's stretching. This will hurt quite a lot, but you're strong, you'll get through it, he said. I was terrified. I had never been in that much pain in my life. I got another good glance at everyone. Ryan was still trying to soothe me by holding on to me. Yuma was hiding his face. Bo was practically crying, and Alec, well, he looked like he was about to die from worry. I pulled Ryan's ear down to my mouth because all I could do through the pain was whisper. Tell them not to worry. I saw him smirk. Guys, she said not to worry, Ryan said loud enough for everyone to hear. Alec gaped. Are you serious, Tala? You in the worst pain imaginable, and you're worried about us, he shouted, throwing his arms in the air. Tala, Alec is right, don't worry about us, you have enough to go through, Bo said as Yuma nodded, and Alec continued to pace. Then a huge crack happened right in my face. I felt Ryan flinch, and the pain that followed made me want to die. "Son of a bitch," I screamed. Bo put his hand over his ears. "Okay, Tala, no more screaming, no weakness, you can handle it." Ryan pulled me closer and ran his hand through my hair trying to calm me down. I started shaking. Really, God, on my 18th birthday, I hurt all over but worst in my face. I felt Ryan sit me down and move to the corner of the room. Even though I was hurting horribly, I had the sudden urge to get up and stand in the middle of the room. I had no control over my body. I got up and walked to the middle of the room. I started shaking violently and I heard everything in my body break. I felt everything distort and I fell to my hands and knees, soon the feeling of fur growing from my skin. I felt my mouth and nose turn to a muzzle type thing. It's so hard to explain, but all I know is that this has to be a dream. It's impossible. "Wow, she's black and blue," Bo said. I tried to yell at them to ask them what the fuck is going on, but it came out as a howl. What the fuck? I widened my eyes. I saw Chaman walk over and rub against my. What the hell is going on? I spun around and around on 4 legs, chasing what I'm guessing is a tail. I ran to Alec, tackled him, growling, and looked him straight in the eye, and knew he got the message that I wanted to know what the fuck was going on. I saw him smirk, which made me growl even more. A fucking dog. What, ought I supposed to be happy? Ryan walked over to me and ran a hand down my back. "Okay, Tala, calm down. Imagine your normal self, imaging being human again." I trusted Ryan for some reason. I got off Alec, sat down, and took a deep breath. Human, I felt my bones distorting again, but it didn't hurt this time, just felt weird. I looked down to see my lap, still in my jeans and shirt, but I felt a bit different. Oh, wait. I get to yell now since there is no more pain. I was about to yell when I heard Yuma. "Before you yell, you might want to check in the mirror." I looked around and everyone's mouth was open. I got curious. I went into my bathroom and looked in the mirror. What the bloody hell happened? My hair was black as midnight and a lot longer. My cheekbones were higher and my face was more defined. I had gotten a bit taller, which sucked. My boobs were bigger and overall I had gotten pretty nice looking. This was fucking weird, and then it snapped. The same thing happened to Alec on his 18th birthday. He disappeared and came back looking completely different. I'm going to find out what the hell is going on, even if I have to beat it out of them. I stomped into my room. "Tell me what the fuck just happened." I demanded and sat down so someone could tell me.psh.werewolves don't exist ch.4. Tala's POV. I saw Alec get a nervous look on his face as I glared at him. He knew I was going to be pissed with him for a long time. I turned to Ryan, who looked nervously away. I grunted and turned to Bo. He would tell me. I smiled. "Bo, do you care to explain why I went through all that just now?" I asked him. He grinned. "Well, you're a werewolf." "Gee, Bo, way to break it to her softly," Yuma said with a dull look on his face. "Why," I said, on an exhale. Taking a deep breath, I continued. "You're telling me that I'm a werewolf. Sharp teeth, fur, running on 4 legs. All of it's true." I saw Bo's smile widen and he shook his head. I couldn't help myself. I burst into hysterical laughter, partly because this is crazy, but mostly because when I get nervous I laugh or bite my lip, either one. Ryan and Yuma looked at me like I had 9 heads. "She laughs when she gets nervous," Alec said, catching the look the 2 boys had shared. Yuma just shook his head. I finally stopped laughing. You have to be kidding me, right? There has to be a logical explanation as to why I was in the most excruciating pain of my life. Not one that has to do with vampires and werewolves. Next thing I know, you're going to tell me that Edward and Jacob are real. "No, Edward and Jacob aren't real," Bo stated, looking highly offended. "You guys have to be lying to me," I said, looking around, but everyone's face was serious. "Oh God, I think I'm going to be sick." Then I saw Alec throw a bottle of water at me. I nodded at him and smiled. I sighed, chugging the water. I have no idea how I did that, but I did. "Well then tell me the story. I have somewhere to go today." Alec gave me a confused look. I gave him a "don't even question me, you're on my shit list" look. He just pouted. Ryan sat down on the floor in front of me. "Okay, well now you know you're a werewolf, and I'm pretty sure you caught on to the whole looks changing. That's what hurt so bad," he said, and I nodded. "Well, whether you like it or not, that's what you are, and there are some things only your brother can explain," I heard Yuma say. I looked at Alec expectantly. He sighed and sat down beside Ryan. Listen, Mom and Dad were werewolves, and since they were werewolves, we got the genes. As you can tell now, we don't turn till our 18th birthday, he said, reading my ever-twitch of face. I put my hand on my forearm and jerked away quickly. I'm burning up. Just like you guys, I said, amazed. Ryan nodded. I also have to explain something to you, Tala. No one besides other wolves can know what you are. It's not a rule, but I'm pretty sure it would cause panic. Also, you can run, smell, and see a lot better now. You are a lot stronger as well. Certain things that would send a regular person crippling to the ground won't even faze you, Alec explained. I nodded, soaking it all in. Also, you are open to imprinting, and before you say anything about those gay-ass Twilight books, no. A boy werewolf imprints on a girl werewolf, and the girls has to learn to love him, though. You can have multiple imprints at one time, which would mean you would have to choose one, the one you love, or you can just stay with your brother for eternity, he said, smiling at the last part. I just sat there, stunned. I'm a werewolf, a huge-ass wolf that can rip people limb from limb from limb. This is so confusing. So someone in this room can imprint on me, I asked with a blank face. All of them can, just not me. That's a little bit gross, he said, laughing. I just sat there still blank. Damn it, Tala. You have always had a good poker face, but show some emotion. I have no idea what you're thinking, Alex said, frustrated. I looked at him and suddenly had the urge to get up. I stood decided. Oh, before I leave, two things. How am I supposed to change into a werewolf, and if I change again, do I need to take my clothes off first? I asked as calmly as about the weather. All you have to do is think about becoming a wolf, but don't get to really mad or upset. You'll turn right then and there. I'm not sure, but I don't think you have to undress, Yuma said, oddly nice. I smiled and nodded. By now everyone was standing. I've got to go now. I volunteered down at the Red Cross so I could get out of the house, I said, smiling and hugging Alec. Then Ryan, who both looked surprised. Then I hugged Bo. Oh, bye, Tala. We will be here when you get back, he said, and I smiled and nodded. When I got to the door, I hugged Yuma. I felt him stiffen up, then unwind and hug me back. Bye, guys. Call me on my cell if you need me. Alec has my number, I said before going downstairs, grabbing a bottle of water and heading out the door. The Red Cross Center is a place where people can come and learn first aid, CPR, give blood, things like that. I needed a way to get out of the house, so I called and volunteered, and today is my first day. I don't have a car, but I do have my license. Stupid, isn't it? But we don't have enough money for a car. So I walked. I walked down the huge forested hill, turning over everything that had been said and happened today in my mind. I finally got to the bottom of the hill and the end of the woods. I looked around and kids were coming in and out of school. I ignored them and pulled a piece of paper out of my pocket. Directions. I started following them until I heard someone.
Hey girl, with the black hair, someone shouted.
I stopped dead and turned to face the voice. On the other side of the street at the gates of the school was a gorgeous guy. He had brownish hair and a goatee. He had beautiful ice blue eyes and an amazing crooked grin. Come here for a minute, he said, motioning me over. I turned my head over slightly and then shrugged. What harm could it do? I walked across the street to the guy. Yeah, what did you want? I asked. It's then I noticed he had a friend with him. He smelt good. Well, his cologne smelt delicious, but his real scent was ... funny. His friend smelt the same way. Are you new in town? He asked smoothly. Great, I'm getting hit on. Alec would not be happy about this. If they knew I was his sister, he wouldn't be talking to me. No, I stated plainly. We've never seen you around here before, his friend said. Because I've been homeschooled all of my life, I said, about to walk away. After I turned around, I felt a hand hit my ass. My ass. I turned around to see the guy's friend pointing at him. I turned around and grabbed his hand and twisted it. Either of you ever touch me again, I will twist this hand off and shove it up your ass. Got it, I threatened slowly. He nodded in pain. I let go. But I didn't. However, before he could say something and before I left on my way, I calmly questioned. Boys, you wouldn't be able to guess who my brother is. Now, would you? They looked at me questioning. I laughed. My brother is Alec Nuria, I said slowly and deadly. They both froze, fear on their face. I started to walk away. My name is Brazen, I heard from behind me, quickly followed by shut the fuck up, man. Don't piss her off more. I lifted my middle finger in the air and pointed it behind me. I walked off, heading off towards the Red Cross, a smirk gracing my face. I finally made it to the building. I walked in and saw only one woman at the computer. She was dark-skinned, almost Indian, and her black hair was almost cut to the scalp. She had a powerful aura around her. She quickly looked up at my entrance. You must be the new volunteer, Tala, right? I quickly nod in response. I'm Maya, the director here. You will be working with one other person today, Dare. He usually brings Brazen with him, and I usually put him to work too. She was rambling. Why did the name Brazen sound so familiar? Oh well, I'll figure it out soon. Your job won't really start till Dare gets here, but until then you can sit here at the computer and answer the phone and put appointments in the computer, she said, smiling sweetly. I'll be right here in my office, if you need me. Thank you, I said, giving her my best smile. I sat at the computer behind the desk, mad that about everything today. I looked at the clock on the computer. I had sat there for 30 minutes and not got one call. They didn't get much business here. Then, all of a sudden, I heard talking, and then the door opened, only to reveal that douche and his friend from earlier. You, I said loudly as he just looked at me wide-eyed. Really, God? I'm really beginning to think you hate me. Werewolves don't exist. ch.5. Ryan's POV. I watched the newly transformed Tala leave. She left a wonderful scent in the air. Vanilla with a hint of strawberry. You could barely smell the werewolf on her. I thought that went well, Beau said happily, while Alec still looked a bit shaken. She's okay, Alec. She doesn't seem to want to commit suicide, so it's all good, Yuma said, smirking. Alec sneered. I know, but I can't shake this strange feeling. He shook his head as if trying to get the feeling to go away. I laughed. She's a big girl now, Alec. You can't protect her from everything, I said hopelessly as he growled. Yuma sighed. Guys, let's go get something to eat, and by then it should be time for her to leave. I can smell her a mile away, Beau said. I shook my head as Alec glared daggers at Beau. She can take care of herself, right? Tala's POV. What are you doing here? I said, totally pissed. I saw Maya walk up to us and smile. I see you two know each other, she said, and I growled low in my throat. This son of a bitch grabbed my ass earlier, I spat. He looked shocked and his friend was giggling. What was his name? Braden? Braxton? Baton? Brazen. That was it. Tala? Tala, I heard Maya say. I straightened up. Sorry, I got sidetracked, I said, mentally slapping myself, slipping off. She gave me a confused look anyway. I was saying make this a new introduction, minus the ass-grabbing, Maya said, glaring at the jerks. She said ass-grabbing ... Tay-ha. After my childish mind calmed down, I took a moment to take in Maya's looks. She looked maybe 2 or 3 years older than me. She seemed ethnic, possibly Indian, and had the scent of the beach in the morning. I sighed. I guess I could start over, I said, too tired to argue. I saw a huge triumphant smile from Maya and a smirk from the jerk. I stuck my hand out, mustered up the biggest smile I could, and said, I'm Tala Nuria. The jerk grabbed my hand and I felt a jolt. My name is Dare Schuiler, not son of a bitch, he said. I shrugged. You had it coming. I hadn't even noticed our hands were still interlocked. Hey, my turn to hold the pretty girl's hand, I heard Brazen say. Don't think I don't know that Brazen was the one that grabbed my ass, but it's just so funny blaming Dare. Plus, I don't like him that much. I couldn't help but smile when Brazen ran over and bumped Dare out of the way. My name is Brazen Albane, he said, but instead of shaking my hand, he brought it up to his lips and lightly kissed the top of my hand. Being locked up in the woods most of my life, okay, maybe I was exaggerating a bit. I came into town like once a week, but still. I wasn't so used to the idea of a perverted guy. I turned red as a tomato. I quickly turned to Maya. They're happy, I asked. She nodded and smiled. Well, that's enough excitement for one day, let's go home. Everyone be back tomorrow by 1 p.m. We have a CPR class to teach, she said, letting us out the door. I sighed. What a day. I saw Brazen run over to me and grab my hand. I felt a piece of paper meet my palm. My dear Tala, he said, but was interrupted by the collar of his shirt choking him. I noticed Dare pulling him back. I look at the piece of paper that Brazen had given me. It had a cell phone number on it, and at the bottom, scribbled under the number, was Brazen with a little heart. I laughed. You guys are players at school, aren't you? I asked, more rhetorical than anything. Nope, just really friendly, DeRay said, flashing his gorgeous white teeth. Whatever, I said, sighing for what seemed to be the millionth time. I walked away, hearing them argue about something stupid. I'm tired of walking. I need a car. And a life. Shut up, voice. Sorry to see you're still here. That was mean. And I care why. Fine, I'll leave now, but I'll be back. Goody. Note the sarcasm. Wow, I must be going crazy. Werewolves, total makeover, and now, arguing with the voice in my head. Yeah, I'm just as same as Charles Manson. I mentally rolled my eyes. I was walking by a diner when I was drawn in by the scent of my brother. Wow. They weren't kidding when they said my sense of smell had increased. I could literally smell the chocolate axe I bought him last Christmas and the mint smell of his shampoo. When I walked in, my eyes immediately flickered to them. They had one extra seat, like they were expecting me to walk in at any moment. I smiled when I saw Bo speaking animatedly about God knows what. I walked over to the table. But they can't hide forever, I caught Bo saying. Hey guys, what is the intense conversation about? I asked, amused. Bo's face immediately lit up. Tala, he yelled and glomped me. I leave for a while and I get attacked when I come back, I said, laughing along with everyone else. So how's being one of us? Ryan asked. Well, it's odd. I constantly feel the urge to run a marathon. I can notice a fly on the wall a mile away. I can hear a couple doing the nasty about 5 blocks away. And I came in here because I smelled my brother, I said, counting the things off on my fingers. Yuma laughed. That sounds about like it, he said, looking at me bemused. What do I smell like? Alex said randomly. Delicious, thanks to my chocolate axe, Christmas present, I said. But anyways, what were you guys talking about? We have been picking up the scent of 2 young werewolves while out patrolling, Alex said a tad nervously. Patrolling? I asked, a bit confused. Well, yeah, this is our home, so we have to protect it at all costs, Yuma said, looking at me kindly. Like a wolf protect his pack and territory, I said in realization. Exactly, Bo said. 2 young guys. Why does that sound so familiar? DeRay's POV. There was something about that girl. She was infuriating, but at the same time charming. She looked unique but gorgeous, and don't get me started on the smell. It was intoxicating, even though I smelt something odd on her. But it attracted me to her all the more. Shut up, DeRay, you don't even know the girl. What did you pull me back for? Brazen whined after Tala walked away. Brazen is practically my brother. When we were both 14, his parents died in a car crash, and since my parents stay gone all the time, I used money I saved and bought a house, so Brazen and I live in it. But seeing him hit on Tala for some reason struck a nerve, but I made up an excuse. Dude, her brother is Alec Nuria, I almost shouted. And Brazen said in a so what voice. I sighed. Remember freshman year when a junior beat a bunch of seniors with a baseball bat because they said something about his sister, even though no one knew who she was? I asked. Oh yeah, that was awesome, Brazen said. I slapped my forehead. Dumbass. That guy was Alec Nuria and we just met the mysterious sister, I said, half to myself. No way. I want to meet that dude, Brazen said. Sometimes I worry about him. You know this guy can kill us if Tala says to, right? I asked skeptically. Not if a guy I know has a crush on her, Brazen smirked. WH.do, not, I yelled. Whatever you say, bro, Brazen said, grinning. I sighed. Just drop it, let's go out tonight, I said, putting emphasis on go out. Okay, here's the deal. Brazen and I have the same birthday. I know, weird, right? But on our 18th birthday. We both went into some type of weird and painful transformation and turned into what can only be explained as werewolves. After convincing Brazen not to brag about his cool ninja dog skills as he described it, we now go out at night in our wolf form. But here lately we seem to be stalked every time we're out. I wonder how Tala would react if she knew? I better just keep it a secret. Werewolves don't exist ch.6. Tala's POV. After eating and then walking home, I was stuck sitting on the couch between Yuma and Bo. I suddenly had a thought. Where do you guys live? I curiously looked at Yuma while waiting for him to answer. Wherever we can get a place to sleep at, Yuma said, shrugging his shoulders. No way. That's ridiculous, I yelled angrily. I saw Bo smile wide. I say that you guys stay here as long as you want to. I glared at my brother, daring him to say any differently. We couldn't just intrude on you, and your brother Ryan said kindly. I sighed. He's way too nice and proper. Mental note, get Ryan to loosen up. P.S. Have you seen this house? It's big enough for 13 people, I said, getting slightly frustrated. I saw Alec and Ryan whispering to each other. I looked at Yuma, poised and quiet next to me. Alec, you know I don't like being left out, and don't think I forgot about the not telling Tala she's a giant ninja werewolf thing either. When I get the chance, it is going to be revenge to the fullest. I smiled evilly, catching the flash of fear in his eyes. I was always the greatest at getting back at him. I saw him smile. It's official, you guys are staying here. Yay, I squealed, then hugged the nearest person to me, which just happened to be Yuma, oddly enough. I glanced at him, then realized what I was doing. Sorry, I said, guess I didn't even know him that well, and I was jumping on him. No problem, he said, smiling. Jumping off the couch, I walked towards the kitchen, speaking over my shoulder. I'm going to make some cookies to celebrate. I was suddenly in the mood to cook. Yeah, you guys are in for a treat. These cookies are the shiznit, Alex said, doing a quick fist pump in the air. Hey, there's no gangster talk in my house, I said, faking a motherly tone. The guys laughed. Okay, Mom, you can go cook now, Alex said, emphasizing the word mom with air quotes. I laughed. Don't forget to put on a fresh pair of underwear, kids, I yelled from the kitchen. Why can't I just flip them inside out? I heard Bo yell in a whiny tone. With his kid voice, he really sounded like he meant it. I already love this guy to death. He's like my second brother already. Because it causes holes and crabs, I yelled back. I heard Yuma snort. Fine, just no crabs please, Bo called out in a defeated voice. I laughed while mixing everything. I still got it. Yep, that's what I said, and I always win. I was starting to lay the cookies on the sheet pan, while munching on some of the M&Ms when my mind wandered to the conversation we had back at the diner. I wonder if they would let me go with them patrolling tonight. I'll have to ask. I also need to ask for the credit card from Alec and do a bit of shopping. The deal is that my parents did leave a lot of money, however the only reason we don't have a car is because Alec says walking is better, and if I wanted a car, I would have to get the money myself. Blah blah blah. Something about not being a snotty brat. However, I really did need to go grocery shopping and clothes shopping for these guys, and a little for myself too. Insert evil smirk. I also need to check my supply of Ben & Jerry's and stock up on it for the next night I'm depressed and want to watch the Phantom of the Opera while cussing Christine all to hell for not choosing the Phantom. God, that always pisses me off. Speaking of pissed off, Duray and Brazen piss me off too. Whoa, way to get off topic, Tala. By now I had put the cookies in the oven and all we had to do was wait, so I sat down at the table and started drinking a bottle of water. All of a sudden Shaman ran in and jumped in my lap. I smiled at his pudgy figure. Soon Alec, Ryan and Yuma walk in and just sit down. Smells great, Ryan said. Thank you, I've been making these things for years, I said. Where's Bo? I kind of missed the blonde ball of energy. He went to take a shower, Yuma informed. Oh, Alec, that reminds me, sometime this week we need to go shopping. The guys all need some clothes and we're running low on groceries. I smiled at having that plastic card in my hand. No, we can't let you buy us clothes, Ryan said. I sighed and looked at him. Loosen up, Ryan, okay? I'll even make you a deal. You three come shopping with me and tell me what looks good, or else I just buy you what I think will look good, I said, knowing that I would make them go anyways. Ryan sighed. Do we really have a choice in the matter? Not a single one. All right, fine, I'm in, Ryan said, chuckling. Bo walked in just then with no shirt on. I know I really shouldn't think this about someone who I think of as my brother, but DAAAAAMMMMNNN. His body was fine. He smiled wide and sat down beside me. Smells awesome, he exclaimed. going from sexy to adorable in 2 seconds flat. Thanks, I grinned. So, can I go patrolling with you guys tonight? Please, I asked, super nice and fast. I saw Alec furrow his brow and the other guys smiled, clearly amused. They all looked at each other. A minute later, Alec pouted. I guess, but you stay with one of us at all times, he said warningly. Yeah, I said as I got the cookies out of the oven, setting them down to cool. You know we are just going to look for these other guys that are snooping around, right? Ryan said. I smiled. Yeah, I want to help if there is any threat to my family, I said, causing everyone to smile. Okay guys, cookies. Then patrolling, I placed a huge plate full of cookies in front of them. If they ate like Alec, I would really have to go grocery shopping soon. They all grabbed one and took a bite. What do you think, I said, biting my lip, nasty habit of mine. Frickin' awesome, Yuma said. Wow, Ryan said. Tala, will you marry me and make these everyday? Bo exclaimed. I heard Alec growl a bit, taking pity on my brother, as said to Bo, laughing, how about we skip the marriage part and I'll make these as often as I can. Deal, Bo said, munching happily on a cookie. After everyone was done, I actually had some left. I guess I'll take some to Maya and the boys tomorrow. I put them in the fridge and turned to the guys. Ready to go? Alec looked around at everyone. Yep, I said happily, following them to the front yard. So, who is Tala staying with? Ryan asked. She can stay with me, I guess, Yuma said. Okay, then let's go. Remember Tala, think werewolf, Ryan reminded me. Wolf, wolf, wolf. I looked around and everyone was in wolf form, including me. Cool beans. Ryan spread out, guys. Tala, frickin' A. We can hear each other's thoughts. Ryan, only what we let each other hear. Yuma, come on, Tala, we are going near the edge of town. Then Yuma and I took off at the speed of light. Before I could count to 5, we were at the edge of the woods. Yuma, smell that? Tala, yeah, it smells oddly familiar. Yuma, that's because it's the smell of a werewolf. Tala, so you're saying? Yuma, yep, those two are near and we are going after them, so stay close. I nodded as Yuma took off and I stayed close behind him. There in a clearing I saw 2 werewolves. The bigger one was a mocha-colored with blonde highlights through its fur. The second one was a rich chocolate brown. They caught a glimpse of us, and I swear their eyes looked familiar. Then Yuma pounced on the mocha-colored one. I was stunned for a moment until the brown started to snarl at me. I instinctively started to growl back, and we began to circle each other, growling while Yuma was kicking ass. Great! Look what I got myself into. All of a sudden, the brown one leapt into the air and I closed my eyes and braced myself for the impact, but it never came. I slowly opened my eyes to see Alec on top of the brown one and Ryan helping Yuma. Bo came up and nudged me, seeing if I was okay. I nodded, and he did the same. All of a sudden, the guys backed off and I saw 2 familiar human guys gasping for breath. Human. Now, damn it. I looked and was back to normal. I turned back and expressed my surprise. "Deray, brazen," I shouted. Both of them lifted their heads in surprise. Tala. Oh, hell, things just got a lot more complicated. That was the first thought that ran through my mind. Werewolves don't exist, ch.7. Tala's POV. Tala, I heard them scream in unison. I slapped my forehead. Great, just flipping great. If it isn't bad enough that I have to work with these guys, I have to share the species with them, these idiots. Before I knew it, all the guys were back in human form and lined up on either side of me. You know these guys, Yuma said, surprised. I paused. Ashim, if I tell them no, would they rip them limb from limb? I cherished that thought, but I can't lie for shit. What would I tell Maya? Oh, we are giant wolves, and I got my brother and his friends to kill them because they got on my nerves. Yeah, that would go over real well. So well, in fact, they would put me in a padded room. Well, at least until I went all wolf on them. If you haven't seen the newest version of this movie, then go watch it. It's amazing, so I decided against it. Tala. Why do you daydream randomly? Alec practically screamed, snapping his fingers in front of my face. I looked around to see everyone looking at me, but Deray's affected me greatly. Wait. No, it wasn't affecting me at all. I sighed, frustrated. Yeah, I work with them, I said, suddenly very tired. Ryan smirked and Alec glared. Yuma and Bo eyed them with suspicion. I saw Brazen smile and Deray sigh in relief. I was so tired and frustrated that I just put on my icy facade and commanded respect. Come on, guys, the house isn't far. We can patch you up there. I turned and started walking. But Deray started to say, but I cut in before he could finish. Come on, before I change my mind and let the guys tear you apart, I said coldly, glancing back at them. I smirked as I heard them scramble to stand up and follow. That's my sis, Alex said proudly. I smile even more and we continued to the house in silence. Deray's POV. Wow, Tala seems pissed. She has that dominance factor which is extremely sexy. Wait. No, this is Alec, Nuria's sister. He would murder me, but oh God, she's so intoxicating to me. I took a good long look at her while we walked to her house. I watched her raven black hair flow as she walked gracefully against the wind. Her eyes were hard and determined. She commanded respect. I heard a low growl and turned to see a bleach blonde and black hair guy watching me. The black-haired one was defiantly the one that growled at me, but both of them had a murderous look on their faces. I looked at the bleach blonde. I really don't think he likes Tala as a girlfriend, but they had a connection between them. Kinda like twins or a familial bond. It was odd. His look told me that if I wanted to get with Tala, I was going to have to go through him first. And considering the way I feel right now, that's exactly what I plan to do. Tala's POV. I saw the house and sighed in relief. Wow, I've been sighing a lot lately. Stupid boys putting me under so much stress. I saw Brazen and Deray's jaw drop. Yeah, my house tended to have that effect on people. It might be in the middle of nowhere, but it was really big. I got to the door and heard Shaman barking. I smile at the familiar sound of the small puppy. I opened it to be greeted by my bouncing puppy. I saw Yuma bend down and pet him. I have a soft spot for people Shaman liked. I kicked off my shoes and let everyone in. Yuma, Bo, Ryan and Alec went into the living room and sat on the couches, though Deray and Brazen just gaped at everything in the house. I cleared my throat and they both looked at me. Inside I was laughing at them, but I needed to keep this respect or these guys will never listen to me. Go sit down on the floor and I'll get the first aid kit. Yuma also has a couple of scratches that need looked at too. I said, tossing a glance at Yuma. He just gave a cheesy grin and I shook my head, smiling. I came back and saw everyone glaring at Deray and Brazen. I laughed and they looked at me. I have a feeling your friends don't like us very much, Brazen said. Deray slapped him on the back of his head. Ow. What was that for? He asked, holding his head. You're not helping, Deray said through gritted teeth. I laughed. They just aren't thrilled that you've been running around our turf without concern. Oh, shirts off, you as well, Yuma, I said as Yuma grumbled something about what is Deray and Brazen gay. I just smiled. I saw Brazen glare a bit. What are you talking about? Your turf, Deray said, more interested in what I had said, all the while taking off his shirt. As I watched him take off his shirt, all I could think was, hello jackpot, this guy's body was sculpted by angels. I took a quick look at Brazen and Yuma as they took their shirts off as well. Wow, all of them are like that. I'm going to enjoy this, I said to myself, smirking. I slowly pulled my eyes from all the eye candy in front of me. How old are you two? I asked, meaning Deray and Brazen. We just turned 18 not long ago, why, Brazen said. I sighed. Ryan, darling, please give them the lowdown on this shit, I said as nicely as possible. Ryan nodded and I looked at Deray. I saw him wink. That pig. He's acting decent because he knows who my brother is. What an arrogant jerk. While Ryan explained, I patched up Yuma first. He only had a couple of scratches that needed tending to. He studied me quietly while I worked. When I was done, I whispered, done, but be careful not to let them get infected. He nodded, smirking, and I glanced back to Deray glaring at Yuma. Thanks, so much, he whispered a bit seductively in my ear and I shivered. Remind me to spork his eye out later. I turned around to see Deray still glaring at Yuma. I just smirked and shook my head. I moved to Brazen next, who had a chunk of skin missing from his forearm. I couldn't help but smile thinking of how overprotective my brother is. I put some disinfectant on it and feeling him tense up gently blew on it to cool the burning. Wrapping it with gauze, I turned my attention back to what Ryan was saying. There you have it. This is our territory and we are a pack. We can excuse this because we don't have an alpha yet, but please next time check in with us first. Ryan finished politely, like he always does. What if we were to join the pack? Brazen said, and Dare hit him. Yet again. Stop that, Brazen yelped. No fighting in my house, I said, firmly, not wanting to put up with this. They stopped and I finished up with Brazen. Then I looked at Ryan. Well, you would have to come if we called you and you would have access to this place at all times, Ryan said cautiously. I saw a devilish glint in Dare's eyes. I walked over to him and saw he needed his stomach bandaged. I put the disinfectant on the gash in his beautiful abs. He gritted his teeth. Can we wait till the alpha is picked? It's not like I won't see them. I even have Brazen's cell phone number, I said, not wanting to put up with them all the time yet. I wrapped his stomach in gauze. Yeah, that would be best, Alex said as I silently thanked my brother. I grabbed an ace bandage and tightly wrapped it around Dare's stomach. He winced. Think you could make it any tighter, he finished sarcastically. I smiled evilly. Whoops, sorry, I countered, rolling my eyes. I stood up, putting everything back into the first aid kit. I felt everyone staring at me except Alec. They weren't kidding when they said that my senses were enhanced. I could even tell who was staring at me. Well, we better get going, Dare said as I stood up. Okay, sorry about this whole thing. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I was truly sorry about the fight. It wasn't your fault and thanks for patching us up, Brazen said. Don't forget, 1 p.m. Dare winked and I heard all the guys growl. Funny how I can tell their growls apart. Before I could growl as well, they were both out the door. I sighed and flopped down on the couch beside Bo. He put an arm around me. I leaned into him. So complicated, I whispered. Bo just patted my shoulder comfortingly. All right, let's get this alpha business over with. I'm tired, I said, ready to go to bed. Well, with the way you handled yourself tonight and everything else, I say you should be the alpha, Ryan smirked. P.S. whatever, I'm flattered that you think that, but I'm sure no one else does, I said, standing, putting a hand on my hip. Well, all in favor of Tala, Ryan said and raised his hand. All hands except Alex were raised. Alec looked like he was deep in thought. It looks like we have an alpha female, Ryan smirked. I was shocked. I'm still new, I have no idea how to do this shit, plus aren't guys supposed to be all sexist and say girls can't do anything? But I said in my state of shock. Then I sighed. Can I sleep on it and give you my answer in the morning? I asked and everyone nodded. Good night, guys, I said, picking up Chaman and walking to my room. I changed into some PJs and hopped into bed. I laid there drifting off to a dreamless sleep, one question floating in my head. Could I really be an alpha? Werewolves don't exist. ch.8. Tala's POV. I woke up around 8 in the morning. I had thought long and hard about this alpha thing and had an idea hopefully the guys will go with. I yawned and slowly walked downstairs, still tired. Good morning, Talabug, I heard Alex say as I turned to see him lazily spread out on the couch. Morning, bro, I said, smiling. I sat down beside him. Where's everyone else? I asked him. Bo is in the shower, I think, and Yuma and Ryan are asleep, he said, shrugging his eyes glued to the TV. I sighed. I'm gonna go wake Yuma and Ryan up when Bo comes down. Tell him to stay in here, I said, as Alex shook his head dumbly. Stupid boy. I walked upstairs. I didn't know what room they were in, but I could smell them oddly. First I went to wake up Ryan. I slowly crept up to the door and quietly cracked it open. I stifled a laugh at the sprawled-out figure that was drooling. I tiptoed in and was ready to pounce. After a second, I jumped and landed right on top of him. Here. Ryan mumbled quickly, sitting up as much as he could with me on top of him. He wiped the drool from his mouth and looked at me slightly confused. Oh, hello, Tala, what are you doing in my bed? He said, as if I wasn't the one to jump on him. I laughed. Your way to nice, Ryan, but get up and get dressed and go downstairs, I said, wondering what it took to make Ryan mad. He nodded and I went to claim my next victim. I slowly went to the next door to see a shirtless, sleeping Yuma. He looked so cute when he was sleeping. I giggled and tiptoed, then got in position to pounce on him just like I did to Ryan. I pounced but felt something grab my hips and I was suspended in midair. What the French toast? Yuma put mane down, I squealed. As he chuckled, whatever you want, he said as he abruptly dropped me right on top of his chest. For some reason it didn't register that I was on his bare chest. That wasn't fair, I said, pouting. Please. You can't sneak worth shit, he said, rolling his eyes. I scared Ryan, I exclaimed. Yuma just rolled his eyes again, and I got off of him, finally realizing what I was doing. I turned around so he couldn't see my blush and cleared my throat. Get some clothes on and meet everyone downstairs. We have business to discuss, I said, and walked out the door. I walked back downstairs and saw Bo eating a Pop-Tart and Alec petting Chaman. Good morning, Bo, I said with a huge smile. He grinned, showing Pop-Tart in his teeth. I laughed. Want one, he said, reaching out the yummy breakfast rectangle. Yeah, thanks, I said, taking it, and pretty much ate it in 3 bites. What? I like Pop-Tarts. Just then Ryan and Yuma came down the steps and I sighed as they sat. Time for business. I stood and took a deep breath. Guys, I thought long and hard about the alpha thing last night. I started, they nodded, so I continued, and I came up with an idea. How about co-alphas? I really know nothing about being a werewolf and am just one girl. I couldn't handle everything, even though I would love the respect. So I can be the one to take care of the pack's needs, kind of like the mother of the pack, but I need someone to help. I don't really care which one of you it is because you all have qualities that we need. I finished with pleading eyes. And there was a long silence. I don't see why not, Ryan said. I got a huge grin and ran over to hug him. You're the greatest, Ryan, I said happily. Always happy to please someone, he said with a prideful grin. But who is it going to be? Alex said. Then it got tense and I felt a fight coming on. I took a quick look at the clock. It was already 10:00 a.m. Guys, I have to go get ready and go to the Red Cross, I said, leaving the tense room to the tranquility of my own room. I quickly took a shower in record time for me. I decided on a pair of red skinny jeans that fit me just right and a black shirt that had a neon-colored robot on it and said Heartless. I also added a red beaded choker. Wait, aren't I supposed to have white on? So I straightened my hair and stuck a white bow on. I smudged some eyeliner on and clear coat of lip gloss on my lips and smiled at the mirror. They aren't designer clothes, but I pulled them off pretty well. I grabbed my cell and stuck it in my bra. You can't tell me you haven't carried your cell in your bra before. After I was done, I ran down the steps. I heard the guys bickering, but it stopped when I came in. What? Does it look that bad? I asked. I thought it looked pretty darn good. The opposite, actually, Bo said sweetly. Thanks, I said, and gave him a kiss on the cheek, but then wiping off the lip gloss on his cheek. He turned and stuck his tongue out at the other guys, and I laughed at him. I looked at the clock, and it was 11:30 a.m. Guys, I have to go. If you don't have someone picked by the time I get home, I'll let DeRay be alpha, and God knows I don't want to do that, I said, slipping on my black ballet flats. That was an idle threat. I'm pretty sure if they didn't pick someone, I might just be the only alpha, but then again, I never know. I walked out the door and toward the Red Cross. I swear I'm going to find me an actual paying job and buy a car. I was thinking the whole walk to the Red Cross. I finally trudged into the building at 12:05 p.m. I was greeted by the last face I was in the mood for. DeRay.he was wearing a white polo and jeans, and I saw Brazen was wearing the same. Hey Tala. Brazen said a bit too cheerfully. Aren't you supposed to be wearing white? DeRay said smugly. I stuck out my tongue and he rolled his eyes. Tala, you here? I heard Maya say. I turned toward her and smiled. You look lovely, he said genuinely. I stuck my tongue out again at DeRay and he just looked mad. She smirked. I need you guys to go get the dummies out of the storage closet and take them to the back room where we will have the class. She said, got one, I said, pointing at DeRay. Hey, he said as I hurriedly went toward the storage closet, followed by the 2 boys. After DeRay and I passed more insults, we finally got the back room set up. DeRay, Brazen, Tala, people are starting to come. Get in here, we heard Maya yell. We all hurried up to the front. Tala, you tell people that are here for the class to go give DeRay their names. DeRay, you sit at the computer and put their names in it. And Brazen, you direct people to the back room, she said, as we all nodded and got started. After a couple of people coming through, I saw 2 people come in together. The girl had frickin' awesome hair. It was blonde with rainbow-type streaks in it. But the guy that was with her looked oddly familiar. He had blonde hair on top and brown underneath. He also had a septum piercing dot. And with the way he looked at me, I must have seemed familiar too. I shook it off and smiled. Hello, if you're here for the CPR class, go tell Monkey Boy your name over at the computer, I said politely. The girl giggled and the guy smirked. Then walked over to tell DeRay their names while I greeted more people. At about 10 minutes after 1, I had greeted about 20 people. Then Maya came up. That should be all. Let's go to the back room, she said as we followed her. Everyone was at their own dummy. Brazen, DeRay, and I lined up in front of the class. I saw Maya smile. I'll leave you guys to teach them, she said, smiling a bit evilly. I might add. Wait, I said, but before I even got the word out, she was gone. I gaped at Brazen and Duray. Brazen shrugged and Duray winked. You've, this guy gets under my skin. I hit his arm, but then turned to realize the whole room wore, staring at us. I laughed nervously. Well, let's get started, I said, clapping my hands together. I'm Duray, he's Brazen, and the girl that just made an idiot out of herself is Tala, and we are your instructors. Duray said, acting all superior, accidentally let out a growl and everyone stared. I quickly went into action. Okay, now let's start this thing, I said, glaring at Duray, who sighed. Everyone knows how to do CPR, right? He asked, and like that we started the class. I'll spare you all the doll kissing and thoughts of me wanting to kill Duray because of him suggesting he show everyone with a real human, and by that meaning me. Whatever, but remember that guy, I said, looked familiar. Yeah, well, I kept getting looks from him, and when I went around to make sure everyone was doing it right, him and the girl smelled funny. Not good or bad, just different. I knew it wasn't werewolf of human, but what was it? I just shook it off because the class was over. Thanks for coming today. You all are now fully informed on CPR. Have a nice choke-free day, I said, earning a couple of chuckles. I walked out, followed by the boys and then the people from the class. I was greeted by Maya's smiling face. You guys can leave, I'll take care of everyone. And good job, she said. And I smiled, thanks. Oh, and you don't have to be back until Tuesday, she said. It's Friday, I nodded, and left, followed by the boys. I was about to leave when something grabbed my arm. I swiftly tuned to see Duray. I narrowed my eyes. What I asked, I have someone I want you to meet, he said, using those puppy dog eyes to his advantage. What is this boy bipolar? One time he's a player, then a jerk, and now he's nice. I'm tired of these multiple personalities. But I don't want to meet your boyfriend now, I whined like a 3-year-old. Ha 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 ha, so funny, he said humorlessly. I just smiled sweetly. I said cutely. I heard Brazen laugh. Come on, Duray said, about to drag me off. I sighed. Let me call the guys first and tell them I'll be home late, I said, pulling my phone out of my bra, and seeing Duray smirk and Brazen blush. Pigs. I dialed the number and let it ring. Hello? Hello? Tala, Yuma? Yuma, yeah? Tala, oh hey, it's Tala. Yuma, hey Tala. Is anything wrong? Tala, no, I just wanted to tell you I'll be home late because Duray wants me to meet his boyfriend. I'm not gay, Duray screamed. Yuma, I knew it. What? Is Duray gay? Bo screamed. Yeah. I knew it, Bo screamed. Tala gotta go, bye. I hung up the phone, laughing uncontrollably, as was Brazen. Great, now they think I'm gay. Come on, we can walk, Duray grumbled, as I wiped the tears coming from my eyes and followed. A minute later, we were at a bar club type place. I raised an eyebrow. I was beginning to think I really was meeting his boyfriend. We walked in to see people dancing and some just listening to a live band and some were drinking. We began walking up to the bar. I'm pretty sure you're underage, I said. It's not like I minded drinking, I just didn't want to be drunk or be around a drunk, perverted Duray. He just rolled his eyes and walked up to the bar. Hey Gray, Duray yelled. Before I knew it, a gorgeous piece of man candy came up to us. Hey guys, the hottie said, doing that weird guy handshake. So this is your boyfriend? Such a waste. I said, shaking my head. Believe me, I'm 100% into girls, he said, leaning over the bar and getting so close to my face I could feel his breath on my face. All of a sudden I was jerked back. Back off, Gray, Duray said, threateningly glared at him. Who does he think he is, acting like he owns me? I stepped back up. Duray, I'm not 5, I can take care of myself, I said, seeing him pout. I stuck my hand out across the bar. I'm Tala. I don't have a car, so this idiot dragged me here, I said, using my other hand to point at Duray. I'm Gray. And why don't you have a car, he asked, looking genuinely interested. We dropped our hands. I need a job, I said, and I saw Gray's face light up a bit. Can you sing, he asked. Well, I'm not sure, I said. I mean, I sing in the shower and stuff, but no one's ever told me I was good. Well, after this song you can go see if they like you, and if they do, then every weekend you can sing and get paid for it, he said, like he had just invented the light bulb or something. I bit my lip. I don't know, I said nervously. Oh, come on, please, Brazen said. I looked at Duray, who was still pouting, and sighed. Okay, I said, as Gray grinned. A few minutes later, Gray had a band on stage that knew just about every song ever made. Get up there and kick ass, Brazen said, lightly pushing me toward the stage. I gave a terrified look back at them, then took a deep breath and confidently walked on stage. I was about to introduce myself when I looked in the front to see the girl and Bai from the CPR class. I just shook it off as a freaky coincidence. I grabbed the old 1920s style microphone and began to speak. Hey, I'm Tala. When I said this, the familiar guy's eyes got wide, but I went on, I'm going to sing Misery Business originally by Paramore. Dance, sing, sit in boredom, I said, smiling as the music started, and I tried my best to look aggressive but still myself. Listen to song here. When it was over, all of a sudden I got nothing short of an epic applause. I smiled hugely and walked off stage. Why didn't you tell us you could sing like that? Brazen practically screamed. That was great, DeRay said, looking sincere. You have a job. You start next weekend, Gray said, winking. I smiled. At least he's human. I glanced to my side and saw the familiar guy and the girl coming towards us. But before I knew it, they were right in front of me. The guy had on the biggest smile. Tala. He questioned in a voice that made it obvious he was gay. I nodded, and he made a squealing noise and hugged me. The guys looked confused while the girl just smiled. When he finally pulled back, I raised an eyebrow. Thanks for the heartwarming hug, but who are you? I asked, completely lost. I'm hurt. It's me, Adam Bryce, he said, putting his hands on his hips. My eyes widened in recognition. When I was younger, every time Alec would let me come to town, we would meet up and play, until one day he told me he was moving and I was devastated. He was practically the only friend I was really close to. Even though we were little, I always knew he was gay, so I was never uncomfortable around him. Lick never knew about Adam. Not because I would get in trouble, because it gave me an aspect of my life Alec could control. I felt like a rebel. What? No hug, Adam said, snapping me out of my stroll down memory lane. I broke out into a grin at him. I screamed and jumped him. He hugged back while laughing. He smelt like coconuts, but still had a bit of that weird smell from earlier. I finally let go and turned my attention to the girl. I raised an eyebrow. Adam, I thought you were ... I said, dragging it out. Oh God, no, this is my cousin, her, and her little brother moved back here with us because of family issues, he said, smiling. He hadn't changed, he was always smiling. She smiled and stuck out her hand. I'm Anne Berlin Augustana Cartel. It's nice to meet the infamous Tala, she said. As we shook hands, I gave Adam a pointed look. Nice to know you talked about me, I said, as he just smiled. I heard someone clear their throat, and I turned to see DeRay. I looked at the clock on my phone. It was 7:30 p.m. I gotta go, Brazen. I'll text you about that stuff we talked about last night. Gray, I'll be here next weekend. And Adam, darling, it's been great to see you again. I'll give you my number. We should all hang out sometime. I would love to meet Anne Berlin's little brother, I said, writing my number on his hand from a pen I randomly found. I quickly said bye and started home, leaving them all dazed and confused. Hopefully the guys have my co-alpha picked, because if not, I'm going to have to go it alone, because DeRay is out of the question. Or was he? Werewolves don't exist. ch.9. Alex POV woot. I watched as my baby sister quickly left. She was getting the hang of her inner wolf faster than I expected. I wonder when she'll figure out that annoying voice in her head is her inner wolf talking to her, and it always has been. I probably should explain it to her. I snapped out of my thoughts and realized everyone was silent. I looked at Yuma. He was still looking towards the door with almost the same look Chaman gives Tala when she leaves, like he lost his best friend. My wolf growled. Say something to the bastard. I mentally rolled my eyes at how violent and hasty my wolf was. Calm down, let's see how this all plays out. But he's... Okay, now I was agitated with him. Shut up. I practically screamed in my head, and then all was quiet. Geez, I think I need anger management. After practically fighting with myself, I caught a glimpse of Ryan, who had on a blank face, the face he made when he was thinking. I then looked at Bo, who was playing with a string he found. I worry about him sometimes. This silence was killing me. What are we going to do? I asked aloud, gaining everyone's attention. I really don't know, Ryan said, sounding frustrated. All I know is I don't like that DeRay guy, so we can't let him be alpha, Yuma said, letting growl escape his mouth. Let's play Guitar Hero. Bo practically screamed. I laughed at his childishness. I need something to take my mind off this. I agree, I said, grabbing the little plastic guitar. After about 2.5 hours of Bo somehow kicking our asses, the phone rang while I was beating Ryan. Get that? Well, yeah, I yelled as I heard footsteps, then hello, I'm guessing Yuma answered the phone. Yeah, he said again. The phone was a bit too far away, so all I heard was mumbling coming from the phone. Hey Tala, is anything wrong? I heard him ask, and I immediately paused the game. What if something happened to her? All of a sudden Yuma jumped. I knew it. He screamed. Then Bo jumped in. "What? Is Duray gay?" he yelled like he knew exactly what was going on, which I know he didn't because I have the best hearing out of all of them. "Yeah," Yuma yelled. I just gaped at Bo. I knew it. Bo yelled, jumping up and doing some weird, disturbing thrusting dance. Yuma hung up the phone, laughing like a moron. "Bo, I know you didn't hear what they were saying," I said. He just sat down with a goofy grin on his face. "What was Tala calling for?" Ryan asked. Yuma wiped some tears from his eyes. "She's going to be home later than expected," he said in between chuckles. "What?" "Why," I asked a bit angrily. Duray was dragging her somewhere to meet someone, but of course Tala kept saying it was his boyfriend, Yuma said, smiling wide. I was getting more suspicious of him by the second. "Is he really gay?" Bo asked stupidly. 3, 2, 1. K smartass comment from Yuma. Of course not, stupid ass. Even though it would be pretty funny. "See, I told you." I sighed as we continued playing games, forgetting all the worries about everything. Yuma's POV. "Are you guys happy it's finally came?" I needed to tone it down a bit. "I think Alex suspects something." "So you're admitting there's something to suspect?" "Why does my wolf have to be so annoying sometimes?" "What? No." "Sure, so you're saying that you didn't feel sad when Tala left?" "Nope, didn't feel anything at all." "Whatever, you can't deny it forever." "There's nothing to deny." I was expecting another comeback from my wolf, but it was completely quiet. Now, if only I could figure out how to get it to shut up like that when I want it to. We sat there forever and played random games. I was sitting back and watching Ryan and Bo playing bowling on the Wii when I heard an angelic voice singing. The voice was about to enter the house. Then, before I knew it, a gorgeous raven-haired angel walked through the door, happily humming a tune I didn't recognize. Before she could pull her shoes off, the game was paused and Bo had pounced Tala. "I missed you," he yelled, and she laughed. "I missed you too," she said as she laughed even more. Her laugh was beautiful. "Wait, no, she is just my friend's sister." Bo finally let go, but she had on a huge smile. Then it hit me, we hadn't picked anyone. Then I heard Ryan's voice in my head. "Don't worry about it. I've got it covered." This is Ryan's little power. He can talk to people in their mind. He doesn't use it often because it can be annoying, believe it or not. Ryan isn't all proper and calm all the time. I nodded as Bo and Tala came and sat on the floor. Alec looked confused. "Why are you so happy?" he asked skeptically. She giggled. "I got a job," she squealed happily. Her happiness was infectious. "That's great. Where?" I said. She looked at me and gave me a breathtaking smile. Any guy would go after this girl. No wonder Alec didn't let her go to school. "At a club not far from the Red Cross. I'm going to sing on the weekends," she said, still grinning from ear to ear. "Just sing," Alec said. I could hear the protectiveness in his voice. She rolled her eyes. "Yes, Alec, just singing," she said. "Then why are you smiling like Bo when he gets a candy bar?" Alec said. I laughed with Ryan and Bo just shrugged. She grinned even wider. "I made some new friends," she said. "Who are they?" Ryan asked. "Two of them just moved here, but the other one is pretty much my boss," she said, getting oddly giddy. For some reason my insides burned because the first thing that came to mind was he smiling like that for some other guy. "Snap out of it, Yuma." "Who's this boss guy?" I asked, probably a bit darker than I should have. I watched her angelic features flash with thought, then embarrassment, then quickly back to normal. All I know is his name in gray," she said, giving a sly smile. She must have felt like we were judging or something, because I saw her face harden and her usual facade go up. I internally frowned. I hate this poker face she uses constantly. "So did you guys pick anyone?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. "Shit. I hope Ryan takes care of this." Ryan sighed. "Tala, we really couldn't pick someone," he said, wincing a bit at her harsh glare. That was his plan. To just tell her. Even Bo could have done that, and believe me, he isn't the brightest crayon in the box. But as fast as it came, it left and was replaced with a look of defeat and frustration. I felt horrible about putting her through this. "You know what, I'll just be alpha, but no weird respect, but if I say do something, I mean do it, and I won't mind using this power I have now to do it," she said, with what authority she could muster up. I smirked. This is going to be interesting. Then Ryan decided he would use some of his charm. "I'll help and protect you," he said, half joking, half serious. I saw her smirk, which was oddly a turn-on. "My dear Ryan, chivalry is dead. But it suits you," she said, grinning, but in her eyes I saw pure tiredness. "Are you tired?" I asked, concerned. She smiled at me again and I thought my heart stopped. "Yeah, but I have some news you guys might not like," she said as I knitted my eyebrows. "I'm letting DeRay and Brazen be in the pack," she said, and bit apologetic. I was about to yell when she gave me a hard look. "No buts. This pack will be stronger in numbers," she said coldly. Now I know what she meant when she said that she would use her power. It oddly pained my heart that she would look at me like that. She sighed. "Guys, I'm going to take a shower and head off to bed," she said. "Goodnight," Tala Bo screamed. "I swear he doesn't know how to use an inside voice." She lightly laughed. "Goodnight, everyone," she said, going upstairs to her room. Why did I feel this way around her? I need to snap out of it before I do something I might regret later. Tala's POV. I had just got out of a long hot shower and put on a pair of PJs. Well, looks like I'm going into this thing blind. I was exhausted. I quickly brushed my teeth and decided to text Brazen while I still remembered. I grabbed my phone and only texted, "Come over tomorrow morning." I lazily threw my phone on the floor and snuggled into my blanket and fell into my usual dreamless sleep. I slowly looked up to see Chaman's nose in my face. I lightly giggled as he licked my nose and moved. I love that puppy. I got out of my bed, picking up my phone to see the time. 8 in the morning. Dang, that dog wakes up early. I yawned and went to the closet to find something to wear. After having a debate with myself, I finally decided on a pair of jean shorts with a yellow flowy spaghetti strapped top with black lower designs. I also threw on some old black and white knee-high socks. I walked over to the dresser and put on the necklace Alec gave me. Remember Chapter 1. I turned to look at my bed. My eyes immediately went to the gray and black striped sock monkey laying face down from my rough night of sleep. Mom and Dad had given me that little guy about 3 or 4 months before they died. I sighed at the memory and then got an idea. I was going to carry it around today. I used to carry him around randomly all the time, but Alec always thought it was my way of dealing with Mom and Dad's death. I guess it is? I threw my hair in a ponytail, grabbed the sock monkey, and walked downstairs. I walked to the kitchen with Chaman at my heels to see all of the guys eating cereal. I saw Alec's features sadden as he saw the monkey. Thinking of Mom and Dad, he asked. I just nodded and was about to sit down when I felt my pocket vibrate. I almost forgot I stuck my cell there. Be there in 5. DeRay and Brazen are coming, I said, sitting at the table to see all the guys exchange glances. They are talking about us. The last thing I need today is this voice. I know. Why so down? I'm not sure, maybe the memory thing. Why am I being so nice to this voice? Well, cheer up, I know for a fact something good is going to happen today. For some odd reason I believe this voice. This haunting voice that has been with me forever. This voice that sounded almost like me but a bit hoarser. Do you know? Yep. After this awkward conversation with myself, I heard a knock and a low growl from Yuma. I wonder what that's about. I grabbed my stuffed monkey of security and answered the door, only to see a smirking DeRay, darn, why do I find him attractive, and a smiling Brazen. Hey Tala, nice ... monkey, Brazen said. I just smiled and let them in. I was about to go into the living room when I was grabbed and pulled around a corner, coming face to face with a concerned-looking Yuma. Okay, I have to admit, he is one hot guy. He was looking at me like he could feel the hurt the memories of my parents brought to me. What's wrong with you, he asked. I didn't know what to say. I guess Alec hadn't told them about Mom and Dad. Well, my parents died years ago when I was 5. Alec always told me it was a car crash, but I'm guessing that's a lie. When I have memories of them, I always carry this sock monkey they gave me. I guess it's my way or mourning, I said, sadly, running my fingers along the fabric. Yuma was the first person I had really told. All of a sudden, I felt a hand on the side of my cheek caressing it. I brought my head up to only be lost in his eyes. It's like he felt all the hurt, sadness, and pain I was feeling, and it was showing. His hand was still on my face and was oddly soothing. But before something happened that we both would regret, I was snapped back to reality. Tala Bo screamed. I pulled away from Yuma's hand and ran to the living room. Where were you at? Alec asked. I was still a bit flustered. I cleared my throat. I went to the bathroom. I lied. I'm a great liar. Did Yuma and I just have a moment? Nah, this stress is just getting to my head. Hello, this is the Shadow Editor. I have started editing this story too, so naturally I have to leave a note. My word of wisdom today is that Dore has a sexy ass and should marry Tala. But now Ima swaying to Yuma. Please comment. This girl deserves it. Thank you. Alec just nodded as Yuma walked in. I decided to just tell them and get it over with. But before I could say anything, my phone rang. I quickly answered it. T, hello? Hey girl. T laughs, what's up, Adam? I just wanted to know if you wanted to come over and meet Ann Aberlin's little brother. T, sure. Same place you used to live. Yep. We got lucky and got the same place, except now we have a bipolar landlord. T, okay, be there later. Bye. I turned to see everyone staring at me. Well, I have to go, so I'll make it quick. Brazen and Dore are in the pack. They can stay or leave, but I have to go, I said. What about that? Dore said, pointing to my sock monkey. Oh yeah, Alec, put lamb chop up in my room, I said, tossing it to Alec. Did I mention I named it Lamb Chop? I named it after some show I used to watch when I was little. I slipped on my shoes and skipped out the door, my mood instantly changing. Is it weird that I'm so happy to meet a 3-year-old?